Because if you fast on Friday, you have to fast the day after or day before. So if a person fasts on Friday, it's wajib for him to fast on Thursday or to fast on Saturday. That's what the Nabi says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't fast on Friday except that you have to fast the day before, Thursday, or day after. So if the person fasts on Friday, it is permissible for him to fast the next day, or he should fast the next day, which is Saturday. These are some of the important ahkam of the Shawwal. Easy, simple, not complicated. The complication only comes in as in the way of the challenge. 29 days of fasting in the month of Ramadan. Our bodies are used to fasting. Now, keeping up with what we have done in the previous month. The previous month of feeding people food, being gentle when we talk to people and making up, and not being tough and rough as we were, not rough and tough during the month of Ramadan. Those 4 categories, they will go into those rooms of Al-Jannah because they are easy, which brings me to the last point. There are many ayat in the Quran, ikhwani, and many ahadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam that warn us about being of the people who do a lot of actions and activities, and we exert ourselves only to have those actions and activities to be thrown back at us because A, we didn't do it the right way, or B, we didn't have sincerity when we did it. You have to be sincere, and you have to do it the right way. Again, the example, clear example, is the man who came to the masjid and he prayed 2 rakat very quickly, and he gave salams to the Nabi. The Prophet told him, go back and pray because you didn't pray. He did it a second time and prayed very quickly. He told him, go back and pray because you didn't pray. The 3rd time he prayed very quickly, go back and pray. You didn't pray. The man came and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't know anything other than what you've just witnessed. That's how I pray, that's what I know. He taught him how to pray from the beginning to the end. And what the Prophet emphasized in the hadith, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that he told the man, when you bow down and when you go to sajda, when you stand up, make sure you take your time. Don't move very quickly. Anyway, what's the point? The point is that the Nabi told this man, go back and pray because you didn't pray. The man, he prayed according to him. He prayed according to the people who were looking. You prayed and I prayed. According to our opinion, we prayed. We fasted in the month of Ramadan. I fasted. I did the days that I did. You did the days that you did. But did you pray the correct way? Did you give the zakat the correct way? Did you worship Allah the correct way? Did you have ikhlas? Did you do it properly? Or you didn't have ikhlas and you did it in the way that the culture or other than the culture said. So the point here, ikhwani fillah ummatil Islam, is that we don't know if Allah has accepted from us or not. One of the issues that will cause your fast to be rendered null and void is the ongoing disputes that we have between our relatives. Allah does not accept the ibadat of the people until they have ihsan. And ihsan is worshiping Allah as though you see Him, and although you don't see Him, He sees you. And what is ihsan? I have a problem with a person, I don't allow that problem to continue. If that problem is built upon and predicated upon the desires. Now, if that person is doing something that's wrong, that individual, he doesn't pray. That individual is an innovator. That individual, he did something that's not correct. I take a religious position against him. That's okay. But just to be fighting and to be upset with each other and not to make peace between, first and foremost, your relatives and those people who are closest to you, then you fast the whole month of Ramadan and it's possible you don't get rewarded. The drama that you have with your ex-wife, the problem that you have with your ex-wife's husband, the problem that you have with your neighbor, the problem that you have with whoever you can think of, your fast is not accepted. Your ibadat are not accepted until you become a muhsin. And the muhsin is the opposite of the mutakabbir. The mutakabbir says he started the problem. The mutakabbir says they're the ones who don't. I'm not going to bend down to them. The mutakabbir, he gives excuses. The muhsin says Allah sees me. Allah sees me. And I'm doing this only for Allah. Whether they accept, whether they reject, whether they're cooperative is irrelevant. The important thing is I want my fast to be accepted. So they take the initiative. Ummatul Islam, the Prophet said in that first hadith that I mentioned, Wasilul Arham. Connect your ties of relationship. and make peace between yourselves. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi amma ba'du. Ikhwani, we're about to pray the Salat al-Jummah. Two last points. Number one, we want to encourage you in this first Jummah of Shawwal. We want to encourage you to give and to donate generously to the masjid. Masjid is still in need of your financial assistance. Still in need of your financial assistance. So let us pay and let us give money. And the last point. Is this Jummah going to be accepted? That we're making this effort and exerting this energy, or will we be of the people who it could be said, go back and pray because you didn't pray? Let us take care of praying the Jummah correctly. Week in and week out, we're making the same mistakes. There's a medical term called a lobotomy. A lobotomy is when you go to the hospital and they cut out part of your brain. So you'll make that same mistake. But that person is excused. He had a lobotomy. We make the same mistake over and over every week in our masjid. The mistake of not tightening up the row. The mistake of little children being between the rows and the child doesn't have wudu, he doesn't know how to pray. The mistake of looking all over the place when we're praying. There's a masjid of al-hadith, and al-hadith are people who have ghira. They have ghira and concern about the apparent appearance of our ibadat, And Imam Ibrahim al-Nakhi, from the ulama of al-hadith, used to say, we used to look at the man's prayer before we would take knowledge from that individual. Let us make our prayer beautiful in terms of the way you dress when you come to pray. In terms of the way you dress. The Prophet said about the way you dress when you pray, إِنَّ اللَّهَ أَحَقُّ أَن يُتَزَيَّنَ لَهُ. Allah has more rights. When you pray, Allah has more rights that you beautify yourself. Meaning, when you pray, Ya Bani Adam khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. When it's time to pray, Bani Adam, wear your nice clothes. Meaning, cover up your aura. A person will pray, and he's praying in pajamas. So when he bends down, his backside is exposed in his aura. But he doesn't care, because he's just praying. I prayed, that's it. No, Allah has more rights. More rights than the boss, more right than anyone when we go out in the street, more right that we put forth the best effort. So in terms of the Ameen, which is from the characteristics of Ahl Sunnah, Ahlul Hadith, the Ameen, being together, raising your hands, and these issues, we want you to take your time and to concentrate. And don't race the Imam. People in the front row, wait until the Imam moves before you move. Let us stop making and repeating the same mistake over and over, as this is not the way of Al-Hadith. Al-Hadith, the way of Al-Hadith, what did the Prophet do and what did the Prophet say? The Prophet said about this prayer is the most important thing in the course of your day. So let us, inshallah ta'ala, take stock of that issue. We ask Allah ta'ala to put it in our mizan of hasanat, and these 5 extra minutes that you have sabr, that He also puts it in your mizan of hasanat, inshallah, and that He gives us tawfiq to fi'l and be of the people who apply these issues. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. We have to move up because we have a lot of people, so if you brothers can move up and squeeze in, because we don't have a lot of room, enough room to accommodate everyone. أقم الصلاة يرحمكم الله.